Due to losing the qualification to practice the Cloud Path Heavenly Technique, Su Dao's timid personality grew even more severe, to the point where it became subtly twisted and darkened. In that grand competition, he failed, and it could be said that this event marked a huge turning point in Su Dao's life and the cause of his dramatic personality change. For the next few years, Su Dao almost collapsed, rarely speaking to others, spending his days alone in seclusion, practicing. Only when he happened upon his master's ancestor and received personal guidance did he slowly begin to show signs of improvement. Unfortunately, the good times didn't last long. In a sudden encounter, Su Dao was expelled from the Donglin sect. From that point on, there was no longer a Su Dao in Donglin sect. Instead, driven by his struggle and unwillingness to give up, he became ruthless and bloodthirsty, eventually founding the Seven Paths sect and becoming its leader, the Rainbow Immortal Venerable. As for Zhou Li, on the day the Rainbow Immortal Venerable attained the Dao, he was captured by Su Dao and ruthlessly killed. These scenes played out in Wang Lin's mind, like vivid pictures. Sitting on the midsection of the mountain, beside the winding stream, he still sat on that same large blue stone, gazing at the water. It seemed as if he could see the flow of memories within the stream. It was the third day that Su Dao's master had taught him the Cloud Path Heavenly Technique. His master had once again entered seclusion, and Zhou Li, who had been present during the transmission, quietly faded away, retreating into secluded cultivation. Yet, the hatred in his heart towards Su Dao remained, just as strong as Su Dao's hatred for him back in the day. The stream babbled, and the memories of Wang Lin's third soul slowly became fuzzy in his mind, replaced by the mantra of the Cloud Path Heavenly Technique. The Donglin sect, one of the 9 sects and 13 schools in the immortal firmament continent, though not as powerful as the Violet Sun sect, was highly mysterious, with very few disciples leaving the sect. The sect's 3 great divine arts were famous across the immortal firmament continent, passed down through the ages. Among them, the Cloud Path Heavenly Technique was vast and profound. It taught the art of the clouds of heaven, floating like the Tao, as ethereal as the path itself. By comprehending the Tao through the clouds, merging with them, and drawing upon the power of the heavens, one could manifest the Cloud Path Heavenly Great Art. The first move of this divine art was the creation of one's own cloud beast, devouring clouds and exhaling mist. This technique was hidden in the initiation mantra. If one could cultivate this mantra to perfection, the first move would be realized. For others, cultivating the Cloud Path Heavenly Technique to its fullest would require much time and immense enlightenment. But Wang Lin, with his deep cultivation, was far beyond the likes of Zhou Li or Su Dao in the past. Moreover, as he had already comprehended all 7 paths on his own, practicing the Cloud Path Heavenly Technique's initiation mantra was relatively easy for him. In front of Wang Lin, wisps of white mist began to rise from the river, floating like smoke. They spiraled toward him, encircling his body several times before entering through his 7 apertures. Slowly, the mist spread from the river, all the way from the mountaintop to the base, enveloping Wang Lin's body like a cloud of fog, gradually integrating with him. Wang Lin's figure was faintly visible within the mist, and after a long while, not only did the river contain mist, but the plants and trees on the mountain also released strands of white mist that merged with the fog around Wang Lin. Soon, the area within 100 paces around Wang Lin was shrouded in thick white mist, rolling and swirling as if a dragon was hidden within. I wonder if, after I leave this 5th blossom world, the Cloud Path Heavenly Technique can still be cultivated, Wang Lin thought, gazing into the mist. Though he had only been practicing this technique for 2 days, he could already perceive its vastness and profundity. This technique, which draws cloud energy into the body, can alter one's physical structure. In the end, the practitioner would become as ethereal as the clouds in the sky, seemingly separated from the world and impossible to comprehend. Sitting by the river, time passed quickly, and a month slipped by. During this time, Wang Lin had remained seated, continually absorbing the white mist that drifted from the natural world around him, allowing it to flow into his body, giving him a sensation of warmth and comfort. The more he practiced, the more the surrounding world began to twist, showing signs of collapse. This was due to the changes in his memories. However, unless it was a drastic and earth-shattering memory change, these signs of distortion wouldn't allow Wang Lin to locate the true gate. One day, the mist surrounding Wang Lin slowly dissipated, all of it merging with his body. At that moment, Wang Lin opened his eyes. His gaze was clouded, like swirling smoke, looking unclear, yet filled with a strange force. Anyone who looked into his eyes would feel their mind be swayed, as if immersed in thick mist, unable to discern direction and lost in themselves. This technique is extraordinary. Wang Lin exhaled a heavy breath, releasing a gray mist that shot out 3 yards before slowly dissipating, resembling a dragon. The mountains here are shrouded in light mist, the air not overly thick with clouds, making the practice of this technique slightly insufficient. If one wishes to fully grasp the initiation mantra of this art and trigger the memory change, more cloud qi must be absorbed. Wang Lin stood up, his eyes flashing. At that moment, a picture appeared in his mind, one he had created, more like a map. This map was formed a month ago when his master, Su Dao, taught him a spell. At the instant Wang Lin altered the memory of his third soul, he witnessed a brief moment of the 8 gates sensing hidden within the 5th blossom world. However, the 8 gates sensation vanished in an instant. Wang Lin could only rely on his feeling to sketch this 8 gates map. Over the past month, he had continuously practiced the cloud path heavenly art, stimulating his third soul's memory. The signs of the sky and earth twisting, threatening to collapse, gradually allowed the map in Wang Lin's mind to reveal a clearer image of one gate. Rising to his feet, Wang Lin leaped into the air, vanishing beside the small river. When he reappeared, he was already high in the skies of the Donglin sect. Without pausing, his body emanated waves of white energy, resembling a cloud, as he sped forward. The cloud movement technique, sweeping endlessly. In the sky, a large area was covered by dark clouds, thunder roaring and rain pouring down in torrents, drenching the plains below. The clouds stretched far, even enveloping a city where countless mortals of the immortal firmament continent lived. Wang Lin sat cross-legged in the midst of the dark clouds, his hands forming a seal as he sharply inhaled. The moment he did, the thunder intensified, the lightning racing through the sky, while the rain grew heavier. Yet the dark clouds began to swirl. From the 7 apertures of Wang Lin's head, strands of cloud qi were drawn from the clouds, directly entering his body. 7 days passed in the blink of an eye. After 7 days, the dense clouds thinned, gradually dispersing, leaving only a small patch of cloud mist the size of a palm. This mist seemed to have a consciousness, speeding ahead. Wherever it passed, any clouds it encountered would immediately churn violently, eventually being absorbed and disappearing, leaving the palm-sized mist to continue on its way. 7 days later, another 7 days passed. 2 months had gone by since Wang Lin learned the cloud path heavenly art. On the last day of these 2 months, the mist in the sky, which had drifted to an unknown location, rapidly contracted, eventually transforming into 7 cloud dragons that surged into the figure revealed within the mist, Wang Lin's 7 apertures. Wang Lin exhaled deeply and opened his eyes. His pupils had vanished, replaced by a swirling cloud mist, a truly astonishing sight. In 2 months, I've cultivated the cloud path heavenly arts initiation mantra to the 9th layer, nearly reaching perfection. But this is not the greatest gain. The true harvest comes from altering my memories during these 2 months, which has led me to find one of the 8 gates. Wang Lin's eyes glowed with a strange light. However, through the mist in his pupils, his gaze seemed somewhat hazy. In his mind, the map he had drawn became completely clear with one gate now fully revealed. If I'm lucky, I might find the true gate in one go. Wang Lin took a step forward, heading directly toward the earth below. The ground was covered by an endless forest, with towering mountains and the occasional roar of fierce beasts. In an instant, Wang Lin plunged into the forest, moving swiftly toward the gate he sensed within his mind. Before long, Wang Lin stopped by a very ordinary tree. The tree stood over 10 yards high, with Wang Lin appearing very small beneath its vast size. This tree had existed for who knows how long, its trunk as thick as 5 people could embrace. A giant serpent, about 100 yards long, coiled around the tree, its massive head raised as it hissed. Its cold eyes locked onto Wang Lin. Wang Lin ignored the serpent, placing his right hand on the tree and slowly closing his eyes. The serpent's head shrank back, its body slithering upwards as it sensed Wang Lin's terrifying aura and dared not provoke him. After climbing several yards, the serpent leapt off the tree, crashing onto the ground with a loud thud, sending decaying leaves flying. It swung its body and slithered deeper into the forest. Just as the serpent was about to leave, Wang Lin's eyes suddenly snapped open, locking onto the departing serpent. His pupils flashed as he shot toward it, raising his right hand to grasp the serpent's tail. With a shake, the serpent let out a furious hiss, twisting and struggling as a terrifying black light radiated from its body. Faintly, a giant door's shadow appeared on the serpent's back. The serpent was one of the 8 gates, not the tree. Wang Lin realized this clearly the moment the serpent tried to leave. Staring at the door that transformed like a python's back, Wang Lin stepped forward. With 5 flowers and 8 gates, if I search each one meticulously, there's a chance to find the true gate. However, even if I perfect the cloud path heavenly technique, it still won't be intense enough to reverse the memory of the third soul. In this case, it will be hard to investigate all 8 gates one by one. For now, I can only wait for the East Summit Sect Grand Competition in a few months. This competition is particularly unforgettable for the Rainbow Immortal Venerable, and if I can reverse his memory significantly during the event, I should be able to locate the true gate at a moment of confusion. Wang Lin pondered while suspended in midair. His figure turned into a mist, rushing towards East Summit Sect. Time quickly passed, and 3 months later. To be precise, it was the 5th month since Wang Lin learned the Cloud Path Heavenly Technique, and the East Summit Sect Grand Competition was about to begin. As one of the 9 sects and 13 schools in this region, East Summit Sect holds a grand competition for its lower-tier disciples every 30 years, selecting outstanding individuals for focused cultivation. Additionally, those who have trained by the Donglin Pool for several days are qualified, making each competition extremely fierce. In the world of cultivators, the survival of the fittest is a brutal reality. Therefore, although the competition rules require gracious conduct, injuries and deaths often occur. The sect usually turns a blind eye to this phenomenon, as long as there are no cases of consecutive killings. East Summit Sect has a total of 321 mountain peaks, each sending 3 to 5 participants to compete. The winning peak receives generous rewards, making the competition quite ruthless. With over 1,000 participants, the trials last for a considerable amount of time. During this period, it is a rare instance of liveliness at East Summit Sect. Moreover, due to the vastness of East Summit Star, disciples from various peaks seldom know each other entirely, making each competition an opportunity for acquaintanceship. On this day, Su Dao's master emerged from seclusion again, gathering all disciples and selecting 3 to participate in this competition. Naturally, Wang Lin and Zhou Li were among them. Along with a woman whose beauty was striking, she smiled even before speaking. This woman was named Qin Mei, and within the memory of the third soul of the Rainbow Immortal Venerable, there was a notable impression of her, perhaps even a hint of admiration. Unfortunately, after this competition, she would become a partner to Zhou Li, shattering Su Dao's hopes. It's hard for outsiders to imagine that the Su Dao at this moment would evolve into the decisive and cunning Rainbow Immortal Venerable in the future. However, Wang Lin could resonate with this. He remembered how he was 2,000 years ago, like a different person from now. The environment can change everything, and experiences can alter one's character. This is fate, be it for better or worse. Su Junior brother, I haven't had a chance to congratulate you on qualifying for the Cloud Path Heavenly Technique. It's been a while since I've seen you. I'm glad to finally run into you today. While Wang Lin was lost in thought, a melodious voice, like a lark, rang in his ears. It was Qin Mei, who looked at Wang Lin with a charming smile tinged with warmth, her words gentle like a fragrant breeze. Wang Lin smiled slightly, composed and silent. However, his smile startled Qin Mei, as she remembered that Su Dao was typically shy, and if she spoke to him, he would often blush and become flustered. But now his carefree smile conveyed something different, imbued with an unexplainable quality. Su Dao was already an exceptionally handsome man, and at this moment, with Wang Lin's smile, he exuded a unique charm. Not far away, Zhou Li watched the scene with a dark expression. While he appeared unchanged from 5 months ago, the bloodshot eyes and fatigue revealed the torment he had endured during that time. Qin Mei seemed about to speak again, but her master waved his sleeve, enveloping the three of them in a cloud of mist that whirled upward, heading toward the main plaza of East Summit Sect. The battlefield for the lower-tier disciples' grand competition took place on the main plaza of East Summit Sect, a place where disciples from various peaks could not step foot unless summoned at other times. Only during this grand competition were disciples allowed to enter, and for many, it was the only opportunity in their lifetime. The plaza, while not large, could accommodate thousands of cultivators. However, given the limited space, it was insufficient for a competition of this scale. Yet, East Summit Sect's profound heritage and boundless depth are what established its status as one of the 9 sects and 13 schools. Inside the plaza, successive East Summit Sect leaders and elders would continuously set up arrays and restrictions. Each time a grand competition took place, portions of these would be activated, tearing apart the heavens and earth to enter the Eastwood Spatial Rift, a battlefield designated specifically for the competition. At that moment, arcs of light streaked through the sky, continuously arriving as revered masters from various sects brought their disciples along. Since it was a low-tier disciples competition and might feature future prodigies, East Summit Sect never invited outsiders to observe. It was purely an internal affair. From the sect leader and the grand elder down to every disciple, all would appear to observe if there were any exceptional individuals among the low-ranking disciples, ones with potential as remarkable as those who carry palanquins. By the time Wang Lin arrived at the plaza, most of the disciples participating in the grand competition had already gathered. Despite the large number of people, tightly packed and numerous, everything was surprisingly orderly, with little noise or disorder. As a result, an invisible pressure gradually enveloped everyone, and as the crowd grew larger, the pressure intensified, weighing heavily on their hearts, causing their pulses to quicken while making them wary of making noise. Half an hour later, the 321 disciples of each faction had all arrived and stood silently, tense, in the plaza. Wang Lin's expression was calm, but Qin Mei beside him no longer smiled. Her face was grave, slightly stiff and uneasy, while Zhou Li seemed a bit better, though it was still evident he was nervous. Wang Lin's composure only deepened Qin Mei's astonishment. Yet, for some reason, it helped calm her inner turmoil as well. Eastwood Sect has long been known for its extraordinary talent, earning its place as one of the 9 sects and 13 schools. This honor was bought with the blood of our ancestors, and now it is your turn to carry the torch, as the disciples of this generation. A dignified voice echoed across the plaza. At this moment, golden light flickered, and hundreds of figures appeared, all strong practitioners of the Eastwood Sect, now seated in midair, their gazes sweeping over the 1,000-odd disciples standing below. Among them, several dozen eyes fell upon Wang Lin. Wang Lin had witnessed the same scene in the memories of the Renegade Immortal Venerable. The words were identical, the number of participants was the same, and the golden light in the sky also mirrored that memory. The only difference was that in the Rainbow Immortal's recollection, most of the gazes were focused on Zhou Li. As for Su Dao, while a few eyes were directed his way, he trembled under their gaze, lowering his head and retreating awkwardly, displaying a pitiful reaction. In contrast, Zhou Li, though trembling, did not flinch. Instead, he held his head high, chest out, and gritted his teeth to endure. His talent and qualification to wield the cloud Dao heavenly art made him shine brightly. However, this time, everything had changed. Zhou Li's body was swept by some gazes as well, but no matter how much he tried to stand firm, they only brushed past him and focused almost entirely on Wang Lin. Wang Lin remained as calm as ever, not a flicker of change in his expression. It was as though the gazes had no effect on him, and indeed, they had none. Zhou Li clenched his fists, his eyes filled with overwhelming jealousy and resentment. In these past 5 months, he couldn't understand why things had changed so drastically. Why had the cowardly Su Dao transformed so much? This should have been his moment, but Su Dao had stolen it away. Enter the trial. The authoritative voice rang out again. Instantly, the plaza was bathed in dazzling light. In a flash, a massive vortex appeared in the sky, swirling like a black hole, revealing an unfamiliar world within. As the vortex appeared, every participating low-tier disciple's body was surrounded by light, curling and soaring like a rainbow towards the swirling portal. Over 1,000 people, over 1,000 rainbows, all entered the vortex and vanished without a trace in an instant. The plaza immediately emptied, leaving only the sect leaders standing, offering respectful salutes to the figures in the golden light before sitting cross-legged to observe the event. The vortex in the sky gradually slowed and came to a stop. It transformed into a mirror-like surface, clearly revealing the Eastwood rift within. Anyone who focused their divine sense could see everything inside. Through this method, the great masters of Eastwood sect could closely observe and identify the future prodigies. This was a boundless, pitch-black land, with a sky shrouded in dusk, like a thick dust storm sweeping through at twilight. This was the space crack created by the Eastwood sect. Everything was arranged to resemble a certain region of the immortal firmament continent. When Wang Lin appeared, he found himself standing on a plain, overgrown with grass taller than a person. The scene was exactly the same as the one in the memories of the Rainbow Immortal. Back then, Su Dao had lost his token in the first trial. He could only watch as Zhou Li and a few others from different factions stood out, shining brightly in that trial. Meanwhile, Su Dao, beneath their light, was nothing more than a speck of dust. This kind of event deeply impacted Su Dao. Here, he endured the cruel torment of Zhou Li. Though not killed, the kind of harm he suffered would forever haunt him, becoming a pivotal moment in his personality transformation. I'm here. Everything will change. Wang Lin muttered to himself, gazing up at the dim sky. As he thought, he pondered how to best trigger the seventh color third soul, to cause its memory to spiral into chaos. Well, perhaps this can do it. Wang Lin stopped in his tracks and looked up at the sky, where a long rainbow streaked across. But as it passed overhead, it suddenly stopped. A flash of sword light erupted, and the figure within the rainbow shot toward Wang Lin. It was a young man in a blue robe, his face twisted with killing intent and a bloody aura radiating from him. The sword light flickered and shot forward in an instant, aiming for Wang Lin's head. But at that moment, Wang Lin slowly raised his right hand and pointed at the sword light. The glow erupted in a brilliant flash, shattering the sword and revealing a broken flying sword and the young man's shocked face. The young man staggered, his body suddenly exploding, vanishing in front of Wang Lin. Only 3 tokens, wrapped in soft light, floated motionlessly in the air. All right, I'll take the first one here, Wang Lin said, flicking his sleeve as he collected the tokens, stepping forward and vanishing without a trace. When he reappeared, it was next to the long rainbow streaking through the sky. Inside the rainbow was a young boy, around 17 or 18, his face vigilant as he flew, constantly scanning his surroundings. But Wang Lin's sudden appearance stunned the boy, and before he could react, Wang Lin struck, sending him crashing through the void. The boy trembled and fell toward the ground. Wang Lin didn't randomly kill. As he raised his hand, a token appeared in his grasp. With a flick of his wrist, he vanished again. In the first round of the East Summit Sect Grand Competition, Wang Lin was like a wolf among sheep. Anyone he encountered had no chance of escaping. One by one, they had their tokens taken. Gradually, Wang Lin's name became legendary in this first round. People would surrender their tokens in fear just from seeing him. For these low-level cultivators, Wang Lin was casual in his actions. He knew this was a world born from the seventh color's memories, and anything out of place would become logical in the reversal of memories. For instance, in the Grand Plaza outside the first round, all the spectators, their presence, expressions, and thoughts, were actually manifestations of the seventh color's memory. Or rather, they were how the seventh color thought they should be, and thus, they acted accordingly. Who is this person? In less than a day, he's already taken over 300 tokens. His killings are decisive, and though his cultivation doesn't seem vastly superior, every finger he raises carries the essence of Cloud Chi. He's no ordinary person. This time, he's likely to be unstoppable. I didn't expect such a figure to emerge among this generation's disciples. Surrounded by golden light, anyone who saw Wang Lin's performance in the sky whirlpool was stunned. Even the various sect disciples and their masters on the ground couldn't help but gaze at him with sharp eyes. Su Dao's master wore a proud smile on his face. The more outstanding Wang Lin performed, the greater the credit for Donglin's sect, and the more rewards he would receive. Inside the first round, Wang Lin could clearly sense that with every token he claimed, and with every prodigy from Su Dao's memory he brought down, the surrounding space began to warp and collapse. This distortion was a sign of the seventh color's memory changing. This still isn't enough. Wang Lin shook his head, and his divine sense suddenly expanded, covering the entire area. The moment his divine sense swept through, all the people here became projections in Wang Lin's mind. He was looking for those prodigies who had once made the seventh color immortal venerable, Su Dao, jealous. These figures from Su Dao's memories now radiated dazzling light here, and after passing this round, they gained high rankings in the grand competition. One of them was named Kuan Peng, a cultivator skilled in speed. His speed was like fleeting shadows, and in the seventh color's memory, he had ranked third in the first round. Wang Lin's gaze remained calm. Stepping through the void, he crossed an endless distance in a single step, appearing at another side of the first round. There, he saw Kuan Peng surrounded by three others. As soon as Wang Lin appeared, the three shrieked and scattered in panic. Kuan Peng sneered, about to pursue them, but suddenly his body trembled and he turned around. He saw Wang Lin floating 10 feet behind him, looking at him calmly. Only Wang Lin could see the surrounding signs of distortion and collapse. As he approached Kuan Peng, the distortion intensified, as if the seventh color third soul were excited. "Give me your token," Wang Lin said slowly. He didn't want to make a move against such a small cultivator. The Kuan Peng's pupils contracted. Without a second thought, it swiftly retreated, its speed roaring like thunder as it shot backward, covering an immense distance in an instant. But in Wang Lin's eyes, its speed was far too slow. With a quiet sigh, Wang Lin raised his right hand and casually waved it. The Kuan Peng immediately let out a terrible scream, throwing out all of its jade pendants in fear. As it fled in horror, the moment it released dozens of jade pendants, the surrounding distortion surged violently. The aura of the 8 gates intensified at that moment, but it was still a distance from fully revealing itself. "Is this not exciting enough for you? Then let me help you kill Zhou Li." A cold glint flashed in Wang Lin's eyes. His divine sense locked onto Zhou Li's location. At that moment, Zhou Li was in a dire state, hiding carefully within a mountain peak. On him, there were 8 tokens. Damn Su Dao? If not for him, I should have been the one to learn the Cloud Path heavenly technique. I would never have been so humiliated in the first round of the grand competition. Everything is because of Su Dao. I will kill him. Zhou Li's face twisted with fury as he sat cross-legged. He hated Su Dao to the core. He entered later than me. Why does he have the right to learn the Cloud Path heavenly technique? And why does the master value him so much? Hatred filled Zhou Li's heart as he gritted his teeth. He was about to use a breathing technique to heal himself when the mountain peak beneath him suddenly shook violently. After a brief moment of confusion, the mountain peak rumbled. Zhou Li's expression changed drastically. His body swayed, and he rushed out of the mountain. Just as he stepped out, the peak collapsed with a thunderous crash. Rocks flew in all directions, some heading straight for him. He couldn't dodge in time and was struck by a stone, causing him to spit out blood and stumble back 100 feet. At the same time, Wang Lin appeared behind Zhou Li. "Zhou Li," Wang Lin spoke calmly. These 2 words were like thunder to Zhou Li's mind. As he instinctively tried to flee, Wang Lin's right hand pressed firmly on his head. With that touch, Zhou Li's mind exploded into eternal silence. In the moment of Zhou Li's death, Wang Lin clearly felt the surrounding distortions intensifying, and he faintly heard a rumbling sound. It was as if the world within the 5th blossom was on the verge of collapsing. The hidden aura of the 8 gates within the 5th blossom now poured out in a large wave. In an instant, Wang Lin sensed the locations of 3 of the gates. Wang Lin's eyes glowed with a strange light. Without hesitation, his body flickered, and his divine sense spread out, heading straight for the remaining Donglin sect disciples in the area. Like a howling storm, he closed the distance in a split second. In the panic and shock of the Donglin's sect disciples, their jade pendants were swiftly taken by Wang Lin. The more pendants he took, the more intense the distortions became. The chaotic energy of the seventh color's third soul surged wildly. Everything around Wang Lin was in complete opposition to the memories of the third soul, and this sharp contrast seemed to tear open a gap in the third soul's memories, allowing Wang Lin to sense the locations of the 8 gates more clearly. This East Summit Sect Grand Competition will have no second or third rounds. If I take everyone's jade tokens, I will be the only one to win. This reversal will completely shatter the memories of the third soul. Wang Lin's gaze flickered. His figure darted through the world of the first round, taking the jade tokens from every Donglin sect disciple he encountered. Anyone who resisted was immediately blasted aside. However, Wang Lin had no personal grudge against these people. Though they were in the memories of the seventh color, he did not casually kill them. Only those who had been envious of the seventh color or would have future negative interactions were targeted by Wang Lin. Each time he killed one, the surrounding distortions surged wildly. It was as if the third soul of the seventh color was exhilarated by the chaos. The howling wind swept across the East Summit Sect's main plaza outside the first round. At this moment, everyone stood up. A distortion surrounded them, even their forms showing signs of collapse, yet they were completely unaware. All their eyes were fixed on the vortex that had stopped spinning in midair. They saw Wang Lin's actions. They saw him alone taking almost all the jade pendants. They witnessed the shock never before seen in the history of the East Summit Sect. Their expressions and the shock in their hearts were all imagined by the seventh color, like a great wave rising, engulfing the entire East Summit Sect. In the first round, when Wang Lin took the last jade pendant from the remaining entrants, the surrounding distortions became earth-shattering. The rumbling spiraled, and the 8 gates aura became even clearer, but there was still a faint mist lingering, just a little short of being fully revealed. Wang Lin's body shot toward the dim sky. With both hands raised, he tore the sky apart. The heavens rumbled as Wang Lin's hands tore the void, locking onto the space. With a tremendous rip, a massive crack was torn open. On the other side of this crack was the East Summit Sect's main plaza. Under the shocked gazes of everyone on the plaza, Wang Lin stepped out, standing in midair above the East Summit Sect. I, Su Dao, am the first in this grand competition. The moment Wang Lin's words echoed, the sky shattered, the earth crumbled, and every figure around him twisted and vanished. Far in the distance, the land, mountains, and everything else exploded in a deafening roar. In an instant, the fifth blossom world trembled and shattered. At the same time, the aura of the 8 gates fully revealed itself at the moment of the third soul's reversal of memories, like a column of energy rushing into the sky, swirling and spinning. The only place that hadn't collapsed was the Donglin sect's back mountain, the Donglin Pool. This was the one time he had managed to earn the qualification to enter the Donglin Pool, but an unexpected turn of events led to his expulsion from the Donglin sect, leaving it as a regret for his entire life. Now, with the heavens and earth crumbling and everything around falling apart, only the Donglin Pool remained. This showed the third soul's persistent attachment to this lifelong regret. The aura of the 8 gates clearly surged into the collapsing fifth blossom world, and at the moment of the world's collapse, it slightly opened the restriction, allowing entry. Except for Wang Lin, no one else could enter. After all, the entry to the fifth blossom had been opened by Wang Lin's third soul memory. Once he entered, not even the war ghost could follow him. But now, with the chaotic collapse of memories, the war ghost's aura lingered outside, constantly trying to break through and enter. Although the 8 gates had appeared, it wasn't clear which one was real. If he searched one by one, it would waste precious time. Moreover, Wang Lin had only triggered the 8 gates' emergence through a clever move, utilizing the fleeting moment of the 7th color third soul's memory fusion. The world was on the brink of destruction, and it was very likely that before Wang Lin could find the true gate, everything would collapse completely, and the 8 gates would once again vanish. By then, finding them would be even harder. Having created this opportunity with great difficulty, Wang Lin would not let it slip away. Isn't the thrill enough, Su Dao? You leave the Donglin Pool behind. Do you want me to help you fulfill your wish and enter the Donglin Pool? Fine, I'll help you. But you have to tell me where the true gate is. Wang Lin knew that time was running out. The war ghost could break through the fragile restriction at any moment. Without further hesitation, Wang Lin lunged forward, heading straight for the one place that hadn't collapsed, the Donglin Pool. In the blink of an eye, he reached it. The pool looked exactly like the one he'd seen at the second blossom, but it wasn't frozen. The water was clear, and a faint fragrance wafted through the air. He stepped into the Donglin Pool and sat cross-legged in the water. The instant he touched the water, his 7 origins inside his body surged to life. The water was incredibly mysterious, containing unimaginable origin energy that rushed into Wang Lin's body, merging with his 7 origins at a rapid pace. As the fusion continued, Wang Lin's 7 origins expanded at an astonishing rate, becoming several times stronger. They spun within him, bursting out of his body. The fire origin in Wang Lin's left eye transformed into a sea of flames, merging with the Donglin Pool, seemingly absorbing endless origin power. In an instant, it became a fiery human form. This fiery person looked exactly like Wang Lin, but was made entirely of flames, a manifestation of the fire origin. At that moment, Wang Lin's fire origin had completely surpassed its previous mastery, reaching perfection. The fiery figure wore flaming clothes, and a powerful aura exploded out of it, shaking the very heavens. At the same time, the thunder origin in Wang Lin's right eye roared to life, forming a thunder dragon that dove into the pool. The Donglin Pool instantly glowed with endless lightning, crackling and flashing. Moments later, a roar echoed from within the pool, and the thunder dragon shot out. The thunderous roar signaled the thunder dragon's transformation into a human figure. Just like the fiery person, this thunder origin figure also looked exactly like Wang Lin, but surrounded by a storm of lightning. It seemed like a thunder immortal from the heavens. Next, the life and death, truth and falsehood, and cause and effect origins materialized from Wang Lin's forehead. The water of the Donglin Pool immediately receded by half, and these 3 ethereal origins coalesced, forming bodies in front of Wang Lin. The life and death origin created a body that stretched its arms wide, with the left hand symbolizing life and the right hand symbolizing death. It looked like a celestial being who ruled over life and death, wearing a gray robe, with long hair flowing, exuding an awe-inspiring presence. Next to this life and death figure, 2 other bodies manifested from the cause and effect, and truth and falsehood origins. The cause and effect figure's hands opened as if to create cause, and closed as if to bring forth effect. It was elegant, like a sage with deep wisdom, its eyes revealing boundless intelligence, as if it understood the changes of the world. The truth and falsehood figure stood half-eyed, its form shifting between reality and illusion, resembling a mist. Despite its elusive appearance, it emanated a pressure that made one's mind tremble. All 5 origins transformed into their true forms, but it was not over yet. Wang Lin's killing origin erupted with a mighty force, absorbing a vast amount of water from the Donglin Pool, reducing its water level to less than 30%. Then, the killing origin revealed its true form. This true form was formed from a malevolent energy, a blood-red aura, and as it appeared, it radiated an oppressive killing aura capable of destroying heaven and earth. Following the 6 paths origins was the restriction origin formed by the bloodshot eyes of Wang Lin. Before him, a sea of bloodshot threads spread out, faintly resembling pupils of eyes. The water in the Donglin Pool continued to decrease, leaving less than 2 layers. At this moment, the restriction origin reached perfection, forming a true origin body that floated before Wang Lin, becoming his 7th origin body. Wang Lin's heart was shaken to its limits. He even forgot about the war ghosts circling outside, desperately trying to break in. He also forgot about the 8 gates' world-shaking presence, which hid the true gate. He never expected that the Donglin Pool of the Donglin sect would have such a miraculous, world-altering effect. It could cause his origins to evolve once more, giving birth to an origin true form he had never heard of or seen before. This transformation was beyond his expectations, and he could not imagine such a shocking change. However, he understood that everything was illusory. The Donglin Pool was a product of the seven colored memories, and all his transformations were merely possibilities. Once this seven-colored third soul memory world collapsed, he would return to the real world, and everything here would vanish. Yet, this gave Wang Lin hope, making him realize the importance of the Donglin Pool. If I can go to the immortal firmament continent, I must go to the Donglin Pool. A voice in Wang Lin's heart screamed with fervor. He could clearly feel that, although his current state was illusory, his cultivation had increased several times over. But it was not over yet. A greater shock came when the water in the Donglin Pool, now reduced to less than 2/10 of its original volume, suddenly began to change again. Wang Lin's body did not only have the 7 origins, he still had the 8th. This 8th origin was the water origin, which he obtained from the 5-element star formation. Though it was only in its minor stage and far from full development, it had yet to solidify into a real existence that could increase his cultivation. At this moment, the remaining water in the Donglin Pool surged, rapidly entering through every pore in Wang Lin's body. Inside, it fused with the water origin. Wang Lin's mind buzzed as he felt the 8th origin rapidly expanding. At the moment the water in the Donglin Pool completely dissipated, this 8th origin reached perfection. It formed its true form, a figure clothed in flowing water robes, radiating light like a crystal, shining brilliantly. As it materialized, Wang Lin's cultivation at the late ethereal stage erupted, surging upward. Almost instantly, his cultivation broke through the previous late ethereal stage and soared to the pinnacle of ethereal, even nearing the profound void stage. Had he obtained a 9th origin, he would immediately enter the profound void realm, and from then on, 9 returns to 1, reaching the peak of origins. As the Donglin Pool lost all its water, countless cracks appeared, and with a series of cracking sounds, it collapsed, turning into fragments and dissipating into nothingness. The Donglin Pool, the only remaining existence in this collapsing world, completely disintegrated. Wang Lin opened his eyes. In that instant, the 7-colored memory world collapsed entirely, and the aura of the war ghost rushed in, heading straight for Wang Lin. At the same time, this collapsing 7-colored memory world was pierced by the aura of the 8 gates, and one gate exploded with an intensely powerful force, immediately surpassing the other 8 gates. This was the entrance to the immortal firmament continent, the true gate of the cave abode realm. Wang Lin suddenly looked up. In the instant the war ghost howled toward him, he leaped into the air. His body rang with thundering sounds, and despite the fact that his powerful cultivation was still illusory, this feeling, this experience, opened a bright door for his future. He took a step, and the world beneath his feet crumbled. The 7-colored memory world ultimately vanished, but the aura of the true gate grew ever stronger. It was right ahead. The war ghost seemed to have gone mad as he rushed forward, but his speed could not match Wang Lin, who had learned the Cloud Path heavenly technique and condensed 8 origin true forms in this place. Wang Lin took a single step and appeared right in front of the true gate. What had once been a mountain peak was now completely destroyed, replaced by a massive gate. This gate radiated an ancient aura, its vast size overwhelming. In front of it, Wang Lin felt like an ant. As he approached the gate, he did not hesitate for a moment. He raised his right hand, and in that instant, the full power of the Dao ancient lineage, the entirety of his cultivation, surged into his palm, slamming directly into the imposing gate. Cave abode gate, open, Wang Lin roared in a low voice. Instantly, 8 of his primordial origin avatars appeared outside his body, each mirroring Wang Lin's movements as they all struck out with a palm, landing on the gate. The gate trembled, and a deafening roar echoed through the air. A crack appeared on the gate, and with a thunderous crash, it swung open. Beyond the crack lay the immortal firmament continent, the vast and boundless true world. This was Wang Lin's first time stepping here since the gate had been sealed. He was the one who opened it, and at this moment, his feelings were indescribable. Perhaps the scattered spirit dispersion sages, scattered throughout the 7 million realms, felt the same as Wang Lin when they stepped from their world and entered the ancient star of antiquity. As the gate opened, a pure, powerful aura from the immortal firmament continent surged wildly from the crack.